Betty Wall-Strophus was one of a handful of female pilots in World War II, not only serving her country, but smashing stereotypes about what a woman could do. Now, after the war, she thought that part of her life was over, but she never stopped feeling passionate about telling her story and making sure that the efforts of her fellow WASPs were recognized. To this day, she tours the country sharing photographs, sharing her stories, and a whole lot more with people of all ages. And the Tuskegee Airmen, they've got a story worth preserving, but time is running out for them as well. These African-American fighter pilots fought two wars at once, one against the Axis powers and the other against prejudice and bigotry at home. Fewer than 50 red-tailed pilots are alive today, and many people are working to preserve their memories and stories as well. Tim Gray has always been fascinated with stories of World War II and the men and women who saved the world, and now he's making sure those stories never die. He interviews the men who stormed the beaches and suffered through the atrocities of war. Many of them are sharing their stories for the very first time. It's a powerful reminder about the true cost of freedom and the bravery of the greatest generation.
These men and women are passing away at a rapid rate, and they're at the point in their lives where a lot of them are willing to share their stories now, if asked. They generally don't volunteer, but if they're asked, they're willing to share their stories. So, yeah, I mean, I'm up against it. Most of these guys, men and women, are going to be gone in the next 5 to 10 years, and then it's all over.
It is unfortunately the sad truth that among these stories of survivors, America has also lost many brave men and women in conflicts across the globe. Keeping their legacy alive is powerful and an emotional responsibility that we all carry. Phil Taylor is taking his passion for painting and using it to make a meaningful difference for the families of fallen warriors. It all started when he learned that a childhood friend had died in Iraq in 2006. While attending the funeral and learning about his friend's service, Taylor discovered his true life's purpose. He created a portrait of his friend and presented it to the family, and that launched his American Fallen Soldiers Project. Phil hand paints original portraits of fallen service members, and he gives the art to the family and friends in an emotional yet celebratory reveal ceremony. It's a powerful act of growing bolder, and Phil joins us now from Dallas, Texas, to talk about an exciting new expansion of the project, a television series called Brush of Honor, premiering on the INSP network. Thanks for being with us, Phil.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
We talked a little bit about what motivated you to start this project, and actually what some would call a project, you consider it a blessing. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, the blessing really started of painting these heroes in 2007. Unfortunately, I lost a dear friend on July 22nd, 2006. His name was Captain Blake Russell. He was a graduate from Texas A&M, but I went to his funeral. I saw the family I grew up with, knees buckled, tears flowing in the front row of that church, and his casket, which they couldn't view him due to the veracity of the IED that killed him. And I thought, you know, what an amazing thing it would be to restore him whole, happy, and alive on canvas, with the potential of even maybe bringing him home through a portrait. And it worked. You know, when they got the painting of Blake, I got the call the same day. And his dad, Ron, said, "I don't know what you've done, but I feel like Blake is home." And that was the beginning and the birthing of the project that I now work under today.
Boy, what a powerful and emotional phone call that must have been. You know, when somebody first hears about Brush of Honor, you'd think it would be such a sad program to watch, but really it's so much more than that. The program, it's hopeful and it's inspirational. How have you been able to find the balance between the two?
Yeah, and I think it's pretty easy to understand that the beautiful way INSP has done this structuring and this work through Brush of Honor is it's really a celebration. So we come alongside in a way to lift up and bring back their son, their daughter, in a way that the memories are happy, you know, and whole. And the one thing the portrait does, it's not a sad memory of a photograph. Whenever that image was taken, it transcends time, and it brings them back to a place where they can actually feel, touch, hug, and love on their son. and daughter in a real way. Brush of Honor delivers that each week.
And it delivers it in a way that is so different than most of what we see these days on TV. Maybe one of the reasons the tremendously talented actor Gary Sinise has signed on as narrator of the program. You know, that's a pretty good get, and we hear that he's a pretty big fan of your work as well.
To me, I'm humbled, blessed, and I think the addition of him talking about these heroes who died for our country is going to make a huge impact for the audience when they view each episode. So I'm super encouraged by his involvement, and I'm extremely thankful to my dear friend.
Yeah, well, we are encouraged as well, and very thankful to you, Phil Taylor, for your work on this inspirational project. You can watch Brush of Honor on INSP, and for more information, including local listings, you can go to insp.com. You'll also find more information on the homepage at growingboulder.com as well.